What's good, everybody? Back with an emergency video of sorts. DiJonai Carrington was traded this morning to the Minnesota Lynx for Diamond Miller, Karlie Samuelson, and a second round pick in next year's WNBA draft. Diamond Miller was the number 3 pick a couple years back for the Minnesota Lynx and was not really ever used. She had a good rookie season. Got an injury. Was never really able to find her footing last season. I think the Lynx were a little bit better than they expected to be. So she didn't play a ton last year, and then even this year, she's had some inconsistent minutes, games where she hasn't played at all. So it makes sense that they would remove off her. Makes sense that you would go get a player that is used to playing on contending teams, as she's played with the Connecticut Sun over the last couple of years. And she's playing with the Wings team that was looking to go in a different direction, it seems, and traded her significant other in Alyssa Smith. So it makes sense that they were going to offer her, and it hasn't been a great season for her on the court. So that also helps or makes it easier to make a move like this. If you're Kurt Miller. For the Minnesota Lynx, I'm looking at this as, you just want to solidify that wing position, that wing defense. With Karlie Samuelson getting hurt, she was playing a pretty big role before her foot injury. She's out for the season. Um, so they couldn't get anything on the court useful from her. And then you have Bridget Carlton, who is a pretty good defender. Has been a great defender with them for the past couple of years, and then is one of the better shooters in the league. But when you can get somebody like DiJonai Carrington, who is versatile and who she can, and the positions that she can guard and the ways that she's able to help you out on offense. Now, this year has been much different for her. She's shooting 35% from the floor, 26% from three. Last year, she shot 25% from three. Um, so that's not a huge difference, but the field goal percentage is a little bit lower. Um, Rebounds about the same, assists about the same, more turnovers this year. She was playing a little bit of a different role than she was in Connecticut. Like I feel like she had the ball in her hands a little bit more. Just because Les Thomas is a very tall, dominant player, and Paige isn't. While Enrique is, there were still times where DiJonai was able to get the ball, and she went through an injury in the middle of this stretch of the season. So I think that slowed her down a little bit as well. Her defense hasn't been phenomenal, but I think that has to do with the team that she was on and the structure that they had. Um, you have a player that is used to being around great defenders and being a great defender herself. So when she gets to a certain spot, and not to say that the rest of the team isn't trying to play defense, but when they don't have the same onus or like emphasis on defense that she did when she was in Connecticut, I think there's a little bit of a letdown there. There's a little bit of a sense of, if everyone else isn't going to, I don't need to type of thing. And not saying that she didn't play hard defense, but I mean her defensive rating, her personal defensive rating every year of her career has been 93, 94, 92, 94, and this year it's 110.2. So that's a stark difference between what she's looked like, or what her defense has looked like since she came into the league until this current season. I would assume, and I'm willing to bet that the defense looks different once she gets with this Minnesota team, who has great defenders all over the court. With um, Nafisa Collier, who's defending the defensive player of the year. Atlanta Smith was an all defensive player last year. Kayla McBride is a really good defender. Courtney Williams is a willing defender. I wouldn't say she's a great defender, but she's willing to on the defensive end. And Courtney and DiJonai have played together before, so they understand each other defensively. And I just feel like this is just another thing that can solidify Minnesota. They just blew out the Aces yesterday. Granted, Nafisa Collier got hurt, and we don't know what the timetable is or what the injury is just yet. So that, whatever they say about that, could change this entire conversation. But I will say this kind of move, if DiJonai Carrington buys in and is playing at a level that we've seen her play at over the past couple of years, then I think we're going to see her be a huge reason that they potentially win a championship this season. Um, the Lynx have looked like the best team in the league for 99% of the season. They had like a stretch where they lost maybe 2 games in three, 2 out of 3 games or something like that. And the defense wasn't there and the offense was kind of sputtering, but they've always found a way to just lean on their chemistry, lean on their system, lean on their confidence in each other and in themselves to get out of any situation that they feel like they've been struggling, and there any rut that they feel like they've been in. Like we see the Liberty are struggling right now. The Mercury are struggling at this moment. The Storm are kind of up and down depending on the day. The Dream are without their best player. The Fever without their best player. The Aces have been really bad this season, and when I say really bad, I mean in terms of what the Aces expected to be coming into the season. Um, so when you look at it, the Lynx are like, okay, we're here. How do we get a little bit higher and just kind of try to separate ourselves? And I think this is a great start. If they're going to do something else, I don't know for sure, but this is a great start of just adding something on the wing to be able to defend at a high level. If you want to just play a defensive lineup, you can throw her in there. And she is a capable shooter. She's not a knockdown shooter by any stretch of the imagination, but she is a capable shooter. She's capable of making a three, and she's capable of putting the ball on the floor and getting to the rim and creating rim pressure. So um, that's just what I'm looking at as far as what she can bring to the Lynx. For the Wings, getting a player like Diamond Miller just gives you the opportunity to see what they have, what she can bring to the team, to see if she's going to be a part of the future. As you already have very young players, me and Bryce talked about on the past episode, we ranked young cores, and we're gonna put that out over the coming weeks of like what the point system and things like that are like, but they already had like 7 or 8 young players, like players that are under 25, and you add another player to that list of just being able to see, okay, is there a reason that this player was cut, or was this player just not getting the opportunity, similar to a Haley Jones and a Lee Rue, where we can bring them in, we can give them opportunity, and they can prove us right or prove us wrong, and then if they are somebody that should be on the team, we can find a way to keep them, whatever the case may be. But the Wings, I mean, the Lynx only giving up, I mean, I want to say only giving up Diamond Miller, Karlie Samuelson, who's out for the season, and then a second round pick, which could be valuable because second round picks have been pretty good the last couple of years, but just only giving that up to be able to potentially win a championship this year. If they're able to win a championship, they're going to look back at the trade and be like, okay, we're fine what we gave up. As far as the Wings, I feel like this is a win-win for them. You get off the DiJonai money. The fit just wasn't there. It just didn't work out, and you were able to get off of that, get a young player in return, get a player like Karlie Samuelson in return, which she's kind of just, I don't know what they're gonna do with her. I don't know if she's just gonna rehab there, if they're gonna let her go. I really don't know. But also adding another second round pick to their mortgage of picks that they have over the coming years, and you got Isaiah James, you got JJ Quinterly. You're able to use players that were not just top one, top two, top three picks. So I'm curious to see what they do with that second round pick. And it may not be a great pick because the Lynx are going to be the top team in terms of standing. So it's going to be the end of the second round, most likely. But there's still ways to make it work and to find good players at the end of the draft, because we just seen in this most recent draft, there's a lot of players that fell that ended up being really good. So, um, yeah, for the Wings, it makes sense, get off DiJonai, and for the Lynx, it makes sense to try to make that final push as the trade deadline comes up to try to just take a step forward or take another step forward or take a leap above the rest of the teams. They went and tried to go get Emma Meeseman. She decided to go to the Liberty. So they had to take a detour of sorts of like, all right, we weren't able to get her, but we can try to go get, you know, we can try to go get a DiJonai or something like that. And they were able to get her. And I don't want to say cheap, but they didn't give up somebody that was like in the rotation currently to get her. So you're just adding on to the rotation that you already have, which I think is phenomenal. So you have a team that has been the best team in the league, has been the best offense, the best defense. You add someone that is a great defender, who's been an all WNBA defender, and somebody that's a capable shooter and understands how to play on a team like this. So it looks like a win-win for both sides. And yeah, I'm just curious to see what happens over the next couple of months and to the end of the season. But if you want to see more or hear more, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you feel about this trade. Let me know how you feel about DiJonai Carrington going to the Lynx. Let me know how you feel about Diamond Miller going to the Wings, and let me know how you feel about what the Wings are doing with young players and trying to build around Paige Beckers and things like that. All right, thank you guys.